Welcome to Taiwan News. I'm Việt Cường. Today's headlines. Delegation from Nguyen Province works in Taiwan Province. Investment certification giving ceremony for Taiwan UJU Vina Limited Liability Company. Secretary of Taiwan Provincial Party Committee welcomes two big investors to Taiwan. For better management capacity and implementation of infrastructure inside and outside the industrial zones, on the 13th of March, the delegation from Nguyen Province, led by Vice Chairperson of Nguyen Provincial People's Committee, Lê Văn Trúc, met with Taiwan Provincial People's Committee, Nhu Văn Tâm, Vice Chairman of Taiwan Provincial People's Committee, and the representatives from the different departments and agencies attending the meeting. Nguyen is a coastal province in the south-central coast with the advantages of economic development in agriculture, seafood processing, and sugar processing industries. In 2013, the economic growth of Nguyen Province reached 10.67%, with a per capita GDP of about 27.3 million Vietnam dong, an increase of 15.5% compared with the year 2012. With 3 industrial parks and 1 economic zone, Nguyen Province is currently boosting land clearance to commence the construction of rural oil refinery at Tam Hoa Industrial Park, with a total investment of more than $3.2 billion soon, a big project in local strategic industrialization and modernization. At the meeting, the representatives of the departments and branches of Taiwan Province discussed and shared experiences in implementing the ground clearance, state budget for land clearance in advance, as well as some reality in common infrastructure investment for Samsung project, infrastructure investment outside the hedge for projects in industrial and economic zones. On behalf of the delegation, the Vice Chairperson of Nguyen Provincial People's Committee reviewed the experiences that Taiwan Province has gained from implementing the investment projects is very practical for Nguyen Province to study and find appropriate solutions for its local issues. He hoped this meeting would lay the foundation for the cooperation and exchange between the two provinces. Shortly after the meeting, the delegation visited the Samsung Complex project at Yên Bình Industrial Zone. On March 14, the Provincial People's Committee organized the ceremony to award the investment certificate to Taiwan UJU Vina Limited Liability Company. Mr. Dương Ngọc Long, Chairman of Taiwan Provincial People's Committee, and the representatives from different departments and agencies attended the meeting.
The investment project of Taiwan UJU Vina Limited Liability Company focuses on producing wood pellets, wood chips, and shoulders for export with a total investment of 294 billion Vietnam dong, equivalent to $14,000. Distributed on an area of 46,000 meters square, approximately 225/6 điểm thủy industrial zone, Phu Binh and Phu Yên districts, Taiwan Province. According to the plan, the time duration of the project is 45 years, with a scale of 100,000 tons per year. Speaking at the ceremony, the Chairman Nguyen welcomes and congratulates Taiwan UJU Vina Limited Liability Company for its swift decisions to invest in Taiwan Province. In return, he vows that the project will get the best incentive and support for the province as soon as the project begins in entire work for implementation, particularly emphasizing speedy processing of land clearance to ensure the proposal schedule is met, for he believes that projects will bring in practical economic value to the province in the near future.
On March 12, Mr. Nguyen, Secretary of Taiwan Provincial Party Committee, met and worked with two investors who are implementing their investment projects in Yên Bình Investment and Development JSC and Hanoi General Import and Export JSC, Taiwan Province. Following the initial success of Yên Bình Industry Complex project, Yên Bình Investment and Development Joint Stock Company continued to implement 3 other projects located in the districts of Phu Yên and Phu Binh. These projects are Agro High-Tech Agricultural Zone, Yên Bình Smart Urban Project, and Golf Sport Ecotourism Complex Project. At the meeting, the representatives of these two companies committed to implement the project according to the proper process and progress to ensure the sustainable development, with the hope of attracting more investors in the project area. At the same time, the representatives asked the leaders of Nguyen to create supporting conditions for ground clearance for the projects outside Yanbing Industrial and Agricultural Complex. Concluding the meeting, the secretary of the Provincial Party Committee highly appreciated the two investors for choosing Nguyen Province and simultaneously directed relevant departments and localities to soon complete the necessary administrative procedures and deal with related problems to create favorable conditions for the investors. On March 13, Mr. Nguyen, Vice Chairman of Nguyen Provincial People's Committee, and his delegates worked on the implementation of the industrial production tests in 2014 in Phu Luang District.
It's grimly remembers that in 2013, in spite of the difficulties due to the economic downturn, Phu Luang District implemented many positive solutions to support different businesses to stabilize their production. Thus, the values of industrial production in the province reached 267 billion Vietnam dong, 105% higher compared to the same period last year. This year, 2014, Phu Luang District will try to meet its target of 310 billion Vietnam dong for industrial and handicraft production. Working with the leaders of Phu Luang District, the Vice Chairman acknowledged the effort of the district in 2013. This year, to fulfill its duty in 2014, he requires that Phu Luang to review its planned action related to the commercial and industrial production activities. He also emphasized that the district needs to invest and develop synchronously its industry, trade, and handicraft villages, especially focusing on mining production and industrial zones.
You're watching Taiwan News, and let's take a look at some other news.
As part of the delegation of the Federation of Cooperatives and the Federal Republic of Germany in Nguyen Province, on March 13, a training course on enhancing cooperative advisory capacity was held in the Unions of Cooperatives Nguyen Province. For more than 10 years, the Federation of Cooperatives of the Federal Republic of Germany has supported, developed, and built the system structure of cooperatives for Vietnam's unions of cooperatives and those of numbers of provinces and cities. Nguyen included positive result has been achieved so far. To further accelerate this operation, the officials and staff of the unions of cooperatives Nguyen Province share and discuss ideas and opinions, as the Federation of Cooperatives of the Federal Republic of Germany offers several union-level advisory schemes and service orientation.
The prolonged cold weather at the beginning of the spring crop 2014 has adversely and badly affected the growth and development of agricultural products, particularly rice. A total area of nearly 4,300 hectares of cultivated spring rice, 945 hectares of which are hybrid, 70 hectares of which are highly quality rice, 145 hectares of which are glutinous rice monitored by the specialized agencies of Phu Yên District, showed that about 30 hectares of which are either dead or slowly developing in some localities. To ensure the good growth and development of the area of the spring crops rice, the Steering Committee of the Agricultural Production of Phu Yên District proactively advised and recommended farmers to prune the rice and replace dead rice with new ones, regulate water reasonably, balance the use of fertilizer, do weeding and mudding simultaneously to create favorable conditions for the development of the roots of the rice. Furthermore, draining water from low rice fields, tanning rice twice in 20 days, balancing between nitrogenous fertilizer and potassium fertilizer must be strictly followed. Besides, farmers are recommended to go to rice fields on a regular basis to detect pests for timely prevention measures, ensuring the good growth and development of the spring crop rice.
On March 15th, the International Joint Company ICO gave a farewell ceremony for its 43 students who are going to study in Japan beginning this April 2014. Most of students have just finished secondary course and have been trained by ICO to be ready for living and studying in Japan. This time, ICO will send a total of 296 students to Japan to study, 43 of whom are the pioneer batch from Nguyen. Currently, the company has its brand in Nguyen province and is expected to send over 200 Nguyen students to Japan and South Korea to study this year.
And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.